Hello and welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with Disability Policy for All. Today I'm very excited to be interviewing Ayers, who is the Associate Director at the UCEDD at the Cincinnati University, and she is a co-founder of the Disabled Parenting Project. So welcome, Kara.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be together today.
The first question is, what kind of laws protect people with disabilities?
So specific to parenting, the laws that protect other people with disabilities should theoretically protect parents with disabilities as well. So laws like the Americans with Disabilities Act. But unfortunately, many states, the majority of states, and our state of Ohio is one of those states, still have laws on the books that make it possible for children to be removed from the custody of their parents on the basis of disability alone. So usually, there would need to be some evidence of neglect or abuse. But in Ohio, for example, it states that if an individual has a physical, mental, psychiatric, or substance abuse issue, that a child could be removed from custody. So this creates kind of a problem because the typical protections that are in place for people with disabilities don't cross the line to protect parents with disabilities.
Okay, that's not good. I don't. The next question is, why do you think parents with disability get discriminated against?
Well, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what it means to be a parent and what supports can exist. It's similar to misconceptions that we have in other areas of disability work, like employment or just community integration. There are some pretty, sometimes minor supports that we can put in place that can really make a big impact in making parenting possible. And some of the research that I've done through the Disabled Parenting Project has actually found that parents with disabilities have unique strengths as well. So many times people with disabilities, because we have to navigate a world that's not accessible to us or necessarily all the time inclusive or welcoming, we've figured out strategies, we've figured out problem solving, we're creative, we're resilient, we're flexible, and these are all really good things for parenting. So I've kind of tried to flip the messaging on not only educating people that there are parents with disabilities, that we exist, and here's how we exist, and here's what supports can make that possible, but also that there are actually strengths within our community that make us not just possible parents, but strong parents, and if there's such a thing, good parents and empowering parents, and we're able to bring that to our families as well. So I think, the answer to your question of why people are discriminated against is there's the misconceptions about parenting, and I also think that we just need to raise the visibility of parents with disabilities. Many people just don't think of, when they think of parents, they think of non-disabled people, and so we just need to kind of change that narrative and change that picture that families come in all shapes and sizes and abilities, and once we get past that barrier, I think we're starting to get there.
Thank you. You mentioned misconceptions, and I'm not sure that the audience would understand.
Yeah, so misconceptions, maybe things that people would assume about a person with a disability that aren't true. And one of the really interesting pieces of research that I've found is that many people might think that something like IQ, which is a way that we measure intelligence, one way we measure intelligence, would kind of make a big difference in parenting. And there's actually research that shows that you can actually have a mild to moderate intellectual disability, and it makes not a difference in the way that you would parent, especially if you have supports, if you have certain things in your life, like any of us, to address what things are challenges to us. So one of my sayings is kind of that IQ is often overrated. There's lots of other things that are important to being a parent, and you can get many supports. All parents can get supports to build up in areas that they might need a little extra help.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to talk with us,
Yeah.
and thank you for watching, and see you next week.